G'day comrade subscribers. So let's see if we can continue. So this is the plate that we generated from the keyboard layout. So it's pretty much a good match. The issue maybe with getting keycaps for this is that this is an ISO kind of layout with the enter key. So that you know, we can get them, but it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult. But anyway, we won't worry about that for now. So that's the original keycap, well, key mat. That's the, let's get that so it's not shining in our eyes. So that's the membrane that goes on top of that, and then we've got this plastic part here that it all rests on. So I was going to reuse this. We take it out, we can see that these are the two sockets that we need to connect into. So these are going to determine basically where the sockets are on our PCB, I think, because what we want is we just want the membrane just to go straight in. We don't want to bend it, sort of thing. So that's going to give us one of our kind of physical limitations. The other one is we need mounting holes. So if we have a look at this, we've got 3 holes at the moment. So those holes there are actually for these rubber parts here, so they actually go through and hold everything together. I did initially think maybe we could use them for putting screws, like M3 screws and nuts through to hold, but if you stick it down here, for these 2 holes anyway, we've got this heat sink in the way. Now we do have these standoffs here that are used for securing through the bottom, for securing the plate, and we've got one there as well. So what can we do? So I'm just trying to see also where we've got some gaps. So I'm thinking that maybe we could maybe have a screw here in this gap here, because we've got a gap there where it could sit through. We've got a speaker here, which, but maybe in the corner there we could have another screw. Alternately, we stick that in like that. So basically, yeah, this plastic thing here is what I'm going to stick the PCB onto. So this is our actual layout. It's pretty much the same width. So I think that's going to be how wide we're going to have our PCB. And then if we have a look at this here, we've got about 5 mils here, and we've got 15 mils at the top here between the keys. So we could mount it like that, so it's similar, or we could just bring it all the way down to the bottom, and then we've got this gap here. So I'm thinking we'll stick the, if this is all making sense, you can see we've got a small kind of gap there, so that's where the keyboard ribbons will go. So I'm thinking on our PCB we'll have our sockets up the top here, and then the ribbon will fold under and plug in like that. But otherwise, you know, I'm just trying to see where we can kind of, we've got some gaps, so we could probably maybe put a mounting hole here, maybe a mounting hole here. I'm not too worried. I don't really think we need stabilizer bars for the enter, but we'll see, because I've never done stabilizer bars before. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment, trying to figure out the mounting holes. Of course, if the PCB goes all the way up to the top, then we can have some mounting holes up here. That's pretty easy. 2 mounting holes up the top, and then maybe where we've got our space bar, we could have 2 down here perhaps. That might be, although having said that, that's where the ROMs are, so we can't really do that either. We've got gaps in here, but again, we can't fit anything in then. So I think we come back to the sides. Another idea I had was that we've actually got this expansion interface on the side here. So we could actually just make it like an external keyboard, but then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having this portable machine if you've got a second keyboard that you plug into it. But it would make it much easier because we don't have to, you know, we can make the PCB a bit bigger. So if we made the PCB a bit bigger, it would make routing a lot easier because we've got more space for routing. And we could also got more mounting points, and then we just run say a ribbon cable to plug into there. But no, I think initially we'll go for a mounted keyboard like this. So okay, I'll take some measurements, figure out where exactly our sockets are, and then make a bloody decision where we're going to put these mounting holes. Once we've got the mounting holes in, then we can start doing the routing, because obviously we don't want to route everything and then try and you know, we've got tracks going through the middle of mounting points. Let's see. Okay, so I think, oh man, I've been fiddling with this for a while. So I've ended up, this is the this is the size of the keyboard of the PCB that I'm going to use. So it's 110. Let's just change. I was just fiddling with the key switches. So it's 110 mil. Let's just set the origin to the corner again. Somewhere in the corner there. Right, so it's 110 mil high. Like so. 110. And I think it's 289 or 288 or something wide. 289. And I've positioned the sockets. So as far as I can tell, these should be in line with the sockets on the motherboard. So if we have a look at the 3D, so that's what it looks like. So the ribbon will, well, the flat film will come out, curl underneath the board, and then plug into the motherboard. That's the idea. And as you can see, I've got two mounting holes, M3. So I added those, let's just save that, added those to the PCB. As you can see here, two mounting holes. Yeah, just general mounting holes, and assigning footprints. Let's get rid of that. So what is it, mounting hole, and I've just gone for the standard M3 because I've got 3 mil bolts and stuff, so I've just gone for 3. I don't know what the difference between a DIN 965 and ISO 7380 hole is. The ones with pad are the ones where, for example, if you have a I think a ground plane, so you can ground it as well. So so there we go. Let's switch back to the PCB. So yeah, so the idea is, I wasn't too sure about down here, so what I thought is I'll have the mounting holes up the top where we're free and clear everything, and then along the bottom double-sided tape or double-sided foam tape maybe, just to hold it secure. I know it's a bit dodgy, but I think that should be okay. Now with the spacebar, so I've done two versions. This is the 7U version. Actually, I should add some text on there, shouldn't I? Let's add 7U space. Let's add that up here. So I'm not sure, because I'm looking at the Gatoron website and it offers 6.25U spaces. Whereas you can get 7U spaces as well, stabilizers, sorry. But I'm also thinking of the spacebar. Can I actually get a 7U spacebar in the keycaps that I like? Or am I going to have to get a 6.25? So that's what I'm not too sure about yet at the moment. I'll need cutouts for those as well. So for the 2U and for the spacebar. So so 2U, that the enter is 2U. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Z88. So let's go back to the schematic. How do we do, okay, how do we represent these now? Because I had a look, I have installed the, if we look at the plugin and content manager, PCM, is it this one here? No, it's not that one there. Oh, here we go, key switch KiCad library. So this has got stabilizers in it. So if we go back to our PCB, I know it's got the footprints, but I'm not sure. Stabilizer. No. Because if you have a look at the footprints are there. Have a look at the footprint. Alright, so if I do a search for stabilizer with a Z, so here we go, here's our state. So we've got 2U, so cherry type. Can I use those with Gatorum? I don't know. And they've got 6.25U and 7U, so we've got the option there. So, but I'm just not sure how to represent this. Do I just put on a mounting hole or something? Let me do some research. Right, I did a little search and yeah, it basically says, Google's AI overview, to represent a keyboard stabilizer, you can use a generic symbol such as a small rectangle or circle. So I'm just thinking, because I can't just draw a square, because that's not something I can assign. Whoops, that's not something I can assign a footprint to. So maybe what I should do is, if I go to symbol editor, just create a new symbol. So I'll go Clueless Engineer. Right, so if I go new symbol, symbol name, so let's just go 2U stabilizer. And I don't know, what is it? It doesn't matter what we call it. Whole K. K for keyboard. Oh no, let's just do stabilizer. That's right. We don't have to have a specific one for 2U. So we just have like a generic, and then we just draw a rectangle. Like so perhaps, and then maybe we can do a little circle on top. Circle like that. So like a mounting hole. And then down there like that. Yeah, that looks like a stabilizer thing, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, cool. All right, stabilizer symbol done. So let's just rename that. Rename set. Alla vittu. God damn it. All right, that was just a test run. Let's do a new one. New symbol. Okay. What was it? So it's just a stabilizer. We're going to KB keyboard. All right. So let's try that again, shall we? Something like that. Oh, where's it gone now? Something like that. Something like that. And copy that. And that actually looks like a cherry stabilizer. like so. That. That there. And stabilizer. Done. All right. And actually, can we do this? Footprint. Oh no, we don't want to assign a footprint now because we're going to use it for different things. Should I do? We don't need both because it's just a symbol. So, all right. So let's do. So we need. How many did we need in total? Where's our PCB? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 4 pairs. So we need 4 of those. Yep, all right. Stabilizer. Okay. Oh, that's pretty big. I don't think we need it that big. Okay. All right. It shouldn't be that big, should it? Should I redraw it? I didn't mean it to be that big. All right, let's just quickly redraw it. Okay. Where are we? This one? Okay. That'll do. That'll do, pug. Can I go? That look all right? Okay, copy, paste. Close enough. All right. Done. Let's try that again, although we were just in there. And we go back into it. Okay, stabilizer. Okay, that's a bit better. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, assign footprints. So for this one here, now what was it? It was the keyboard library. Oh, here we go. PCM. Okay. Stabilizer. Right. So we need one that's going to be 7U. So that'll be that one. And then these other ones are 2U. Like that. Okay. So now let's, we need to update, whoops, update the PCB. Okay, hopefully these kind of fit. All right. Okay, so here's our 7U for the keyboard. Oh no, the keyboard's there. That's this. Okay, so that's the PCB there. Okay, so we don't need to. Let's get rid of that. That's going to put us off a bit. Okay. Oh, that's pretty close to the edge of the keyboard of the PCB, isn't it? All right. And then let's get rid of this. We don't need to see that. Okay. Let's go over. Of course we need to see it still so we can position it. All right, let's turn the drawing back on. 1 mil spacing. I hate this how it kind of. I just want stop. Stop. I probably need to switch something off to stop it bloody doing the. See, it moves smoothly like that, but when I just want to go down a smidgen, it won't let me. God damn it. Or does it know something I don't know? Oh, because it is okay, so it is snapping to that center there, isn't it? Let's see if we've got any better luck with this other one. Let's see, what's its Y value? Ah, okay, hang on. Well, let's go. We don't need really go. Let's just set origin there. Okay. Let's set that to 0. Okay, what about if we set the 0 point to this one? Let's get this out of the way. Let's set the 0 point here. All right, now we're going to have better luck. Yeah, okay. That looks better, doesn't it? Okay. Let's do that down here as well. So let's set the 0 to the center of the space bar. Let's see if we can get any better luck. I think that's going to be it. Okay, let's get rid of that. Just make sure it's okay. There we go. What was this one here? All right, so I'll finish off these, and then I guess it'll be time for try and route it. All right, I think I figured it out with these stabilizers, although I'm not sure which way this one should go. So basically they've got, well, the footprints anyway. Footprints have got that. So basically I think you want to line that crosshairs up with this crosshairs. So if I go back to the center there, and then I go back here, basically that's where I want it to be. And we've got a smaller hole and a bigger hole. So I think the small hole's at the top, bigger hole's at the bottom, but I'm not sure. I guess it doesn't matter too much when you do it vertically. You just got to put it in. Should I have it that way round or should I have it the other way round? Anyway, but yeah, so that's, everything's lines up. So there. So the stabilizers are in. What does that look like on the 3D? Oh, cool. There we go. A bit close to the actual switch, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know if I need the actual bar though. All right, making progress, I think. So that should be pretty much everything ready to go, and now we can start the routing. But like I said, if we just want to do free routing, it's not going to be able to do it because there's just, where is it? Up here, up here. Okay, you see it's not going to be able to do it. So you can see, so you could leave it like that, and then, like for example, I don't know, this one, where does that, so that's got to connect down, so you could do it like that. Okay, that one's done. If you want to trust most of it. So that's got to go all the way up to there. So you can just basically do it like this. Go to there, for example. And that's not connected up to there yet either. So therefore that has to go something like that. Was that going to reach? All the way around like that. You know, it's crazy stuff like that. So this is just, so red's the top layer obviously, and blue's the bottom layer. So that there, oh okay, I can't do that because I've got a, so here I'm going to have to put a via and then switch to the back, whoops, and then I can do that sort of thing. But yeah, in this case, I'd rather just go through it manually rather than work off what free routing's done. So let's just delete all that. So here we've got, okay, so what I've been doing, I can open, let's open another one. I'll show you what I've been doing. Right, so no, not that one. Let's have a look at the Commodore one. Commodore, let's have a look at the internal, this one here. I need to still sort these out. The RAM board. Let's have a look at the PCB. So what I've done on the PCB, for example, here, is for the power lines I've been using a thicker trace. So to do that, you go File, Board Setup, and then I think predefined sizes here. So 0.5 mil. So you just go, you just add in and say 0.5 mil, or 1 mil if you want to go that. And then when you're doing the tracks, you can either do the standard, which is this one here, or then you can switch to the 0.5 mil and do, so if we delete that, and then we can do a 0.5 mil track, thicker track like that. So, but that's I've just been doing that, and then obviously in the background, if you've got a ground, you don't actually need to run a trace if you're going to have a ground plane like this. Anyway, so don't discard that. Let's go back to where we were. Where did I stick this one? Sinclair. I could probably anyway, so what's the best way to do it? Well, let's start. So we've got, technically we've got columns and rows, but the way this is laid out, they're all over the place. So obviously you need to bear in mind when you're doing these traces, what else you've got. So you can do it like that. That's obviously quite close, or you can leave a bit of space. So you go along, run along the bottom here, and then click, and then go up like that. Yeah, so it's just basically, okay, we want to probably go under like that, and then that needs to go over there. So it's just slowly working your way through. Unfortunately, in this case, there's not going to be any nice simple thing to do, because you can look at the crisscrossing up here. So yeah, let's see how we go. So I've made some changes thanks to Alex's suggestion. I've now got the a traditional, well, modern inverted T cursor layout, which I think is probably a bit better. So to do that, whoops, what I've done is, sorry. So I've moved the caps lock over to the right, and I've moved the right hand shift over to the right, so we can get our up, down, left and right. So I don't know if that's going to annoy purists, by having our caps lock on the right instead of beside the space bar. I don't think it matters too much, but yeah, something different. I think maybe it'll work better even. So yeah, so let's start the routing then. One thing to remember is that when you're doing routing, your grid spacing makes a big difference. So at the moment I've got it set on the cherry, the key switch offset or grid spacing. So if I try and route like this, so for example that one there, you can see it's trying to route to a 19.05 grid, which isn't very good. So I like to maybe make it the smallest possible. So if you do it now, you can see you've got a much finer, you're much finer. So you can stick that there, and then if you wanted to move it later on, you've got you just click on it. You've got a much finer control of it. So just remember to change your grid when you do it. And actually, one of the things with making switching the cursors around is, I don't know, it maybe has made, for example, this routing looks a bit better. Maybe go straight up there. It's all kind of all over the place really for that one. Maybe it's a bad example, but yeah. So how I'm going to do this, I think maybe I'll start at the left. You can see some of it is a real. Especially once we get up to here where the connectors are. So it'd be better if we had a bigger board, then we could move the connectors up and this wouldn't be so crowded. But let's see how we go. So routing, so you can try and run the auto route, like the free routing on this. It won't complete. But it'll do most of it, and then if you wanted to, you could just finish off. You might end up with routing going all over the place, but hey, if it connects, it should work, shouldn't it? So we can actually, if you want, I can just show you. Do the free routing. It's going to start on the bottom screen, so I'm running two screens here. We're going to be able to move that screen. Yep. Let's move it up here. So you can see it's not going to, I don't think it's going to be able to do it. Or maybe it can. Maybe my problem before was that I was, the grid spacing was too far off. It's getting there. So yeah, you can see we've got these ones still unconnected, for example. So what you can do if you wanted, so just let's see, what do we need? So this still needs to connect somewhere. Why isn't that? Oh no, that's already connected. What happened there? That was already connected. Okay. I don't know why it was complaining about that one. All right, what about this one? Is it not working properly now? Oh, there we go. So that can. So yeah, you can basically do something like this, just something crazy, but as long as it connects, it connects. Doesn't look nice, so yeah, what I'm going to do is just take my time and just do it bit by bit and try and make it look okay. So let's just start over here. Let's start doing columns maybe. So let's go down to here, go down to here, and then that needs to go all the way over there, doesn't it? So I don't want I don't want to block anything off. So I think the only ones, there's only 2 holes for these spaces, isn't there? So I don't want to block anything off. I might leave that for now and then just do these other ones here. Like so, and then that needs to go over there as well. And then, like for example, I could use, say, I could go underneath, and then, you know, I can go straight through like that if I wanted to. But let's just try and keep everything on one side for now, and then we'll use the bottom plane when we get stuck. So I'll go over all these columns for now. Make sure they're all row 2. Make sure I'm not connecting anything I shouldn't be. Okay, that's the last one there. And what else? Any other row 2? Okay, there's row 2 down there. Okay, and then that's it, and then it goes up to there. So let's just finish this off over here. Row 2 goes down to, let's stick it there. Okay, so just basically I'm just going to go through and see down here. So we're doing these columns, and then for these rows here, that's where we kind of have to do, you know, the bottom layer, go across like that. Like so. Yeah, and then we could probably, yeah, we'll do that one there like that, and then we need to go all the way down to there. So probably bottom layer there, and then for these ones here we'll do the top layer like that. Just go straight up. I guess this could be, you know, kind of relaxing, just gently doing some. Now here, should we go over or under? Well, if we have a look at this row here, it goes up to here. So it looks like, you know, you could go red up to here, then put a via in, and then go underneath. But we might as well, if we're going blue up there, so it looks like, so we're going to connect like that. We can go around like that. See, once it's in, like if you don't like the way it's routed, then you can select it and then, you know, just adjust it so it gets it away a little bit like that. So you can adjust it once it's in. So if we do that, what was I going to do? Yeah, because we're going to do, what's that, row 1. So it looks like we want to do column 1. Yeah. All right. I'll continue on this, and we'll regroup at the end, maybe. I finally had to do my first via there. So originally this blue track was quite close to this red track, but I've moved it down here because otherwise it's like, well, I've got red and blue beside each other. So I moved it down here so I could just go blue underneath and then do a via, then pop back up to the top layer to cross those two tracks, and then I could go to there. So that was my first one. So this side's pretty much done. I've got row 0 and a column 0 still to do. See this sort of stuff here. So if I wanted to cross that, I'd have to, you know, I'd have to switch to underneath, then switch to above, then go up here, then switch to underneath again. So where does it actually have to go? So row 0. So that's got to connect. Not actually much on row 0. I just want to see where they were. are all the way over there. See, this row and columns just make absolutely no sense. If the schematic's correct, it makes no sense. So like if I wanted to, I could just do that and then just see where it ends up. I don't want to do too much and it crashes. So just find a way. There. So I could do it like that if I wanted to, but you know, I obviously want to try and make it a bit neater. I've got a row. Let's just connect those two up. Oh, we've got some row zeros along here. So yeah, getting there. I'm just a bit concerned that the schematic's not right because this is a real mess. You know, according from my understanding of the schematic is, yeah, column 1, column 0, column 2, and then over here, you know, we've got row 2, 3, 4, 6, 0, 7, 1. It makes no sense. Anyway, see how we go. So we've got some row 7s here we can connect up. And let's just go down here and connect it. So slowly getting there, It's just, it looks a bit daunting still. Let's see. I think it's done. I think I've got everything connected up. I do some weird little things, but you know, change some things around, like slightly move this blue track. So I think I had this blue track going over the top, but so I moved it down so then I could just use this blue track here to connect up. But I think everything is done. Of course, I've got to make sure. So save and run the DRC. Oh, that's it. Cool. I haven't shorted anything. Excellent day. All right. So if that's it, ready to make the PCB. Oh. So this is the one I've decided on. Like I said, the inverted T on the cursors here, up, down, left, and right. So I moved caps lock over to there. Now, before I send this off to get fabbed, I wanted to. Unfortunately, it's slightly bigger than A4, so I can't print it out. So I need to print it out in A3. So I'll print out in A3 just to make sure that kind of everything lines up. So I'll do that tomorrow before I get it fabbed. But basically, if everything's okay, so we just go up to, we've got 2 plugins for PCBWay. So PCBWay Fabrication Toolkit will just generate the files on your local machine. So we've got the BOM. So this one here, that's the important one. Otherwise, you can do PCBWay plugin for KiCad. So that will upload it automatically to the PCBWay website, and I think PCBWay will also donate a portion to the KiCad project. So yeah, so there's 2 ways of doing it. So I won't do that yet, but I'll upload the Gerbers tonight. Not that I'm publishing this video tonight, but yeah, okay. Finally, let's see how we go. Oh, there's one thing I just almost forgot. I always like to come on. Do like this. Okay, so I want to shape model fillet lines and do maybe 2mm just have a nice curved edges. That's yeah, rather than sharp angles. I hate those on PCBs. So alright, so I'll print this out tomorrow and do some final checks before I send it off. Okay. Whew. Good morning. So just a quick video before we head off to the Gold Coast. So I've printed out my design and looks like, apart from my dodgy cutting, so it does look like, so for example up here with our connectors line up there, and the main thing is that they kind of line up with the connectors on the motherboard. So as long as that schematic's right, and as long as I've copied that schematic correctly, we should be right to go. So this is the one with the inverted T cursors. So I've moved shift over to there, so it's on either end, and then we've got caps lock on the bottom corner there. So what do you reckon? I reckon I should go get it fabricated. As long as it doesn't hang over. Just a bit worried. I can move it down a bit. Should just, oh, don't know. Should be okay. Yeah. Let's yeah, alright. Let's give it a try, eh? Okay, and yeah, so I guess we'll be back in a few weeks. Thing is, I still need to figure out keycaps. There are some low profile keycaps, but I need to get ones that are ISO, so because it's got the ISO enter key. Normally they have just like the thin enter key, but I need the ISO enter key. Yeah, and some blank keycaps. Problem is, if they're black, I'm gonna have to get. Can I get a white texture or white? Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I might trim the board maybe. No, anyway, let's see. In a few weeks. We'll see in a few weeks. Bye for now.